Church. We've been in a minute in the middle, of a series called Happily Ever After question mark, and really been talking about all things family. And so these last 2 weeks, we really focused on the men, ministered a message called Be a Man and Lead Like a Man. This week, we're going to get into the ladies. We're going to talk about what the Bible has to say to them. And so, ready to go there. If you're in the D, come through. 8:30, 10:15, and 12 o'clock are our three experience times. And you can always join us online at myfaithx.com or the church's YouTube channel. Also, with Andre Butler Ministries, we're reaching people far from God, man, online. We've been doing some things a little differently over the last couple of weeks, just kind of seeing how they're working. We'll see. But the goal is to reach a million, to be a million strong online. And so if you aren't uh, a partner, I'd love you to help us join with us. And also there are benefits that come from being a partner. You can go to andrebutler.com to check that out. I recently released my novel, Match Made in Heaven. This actually is my first novel. I've written a lot of books, but my first novel, and the story of Mike and Monica and how God helped them to discover their purpose and find each other. You can find this on andrebutler.com or amazon.com. Also, Bayarna has been re-released and on Amazon, and you can get the ebook and the audiobook right now if you'd like to do that. Also get the audiobook for Match Made in Heaven, and also re-released In My Feelings, helping people to overcome depression and anxiety and the like. And that's available as an ebook, as a paperback, and as an audiobook. Bear not be available pretty soon as a paperback. I'm just having one issue with the cover, so just to bear with me on that. But that's the big dating book, so that's available. And we released my own EP called Love on Purpose. Heard some great things about that, and you can find that anywhere music is playing, or you can get a hold of all these things at andrebutler.cc/relationships. All right, we're done with the commercial. It's good to hang out with you guys today. I'm a little late. Apologize for that. I've just been busy, but still want to make sure we got a chance to connect. And so, as you're joining us, as I said, just let me know where you're joining us from. Hey, Desmond, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Hi, Miss Diamond. Excuse me. Let's see. Who is it? Moski, how are you doing? Good to catch up with you. Yeah, I just saw that Chuck Norris passed. I just saw it on Instagram. 86 years old, believer. So we know where he is. I guess he's doing some karate kicks in heaven right now, huh? So definitely pray for his family and all those connected to him. So, but yeah. So of course, as you're joining us, as I said, let me know also what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be spiritual, although it definitely can be. And um, we'll dive into it. Won't be on much longer than I usually am. I usually stop about 12:30. Maybe go a little longer because I got on a little later today. But let me know what's on your mind. Let me see if I can try something with Instagram. And if this doesn't work, y'all don't get mad at me. But I'm trying to see if I can look at everybody at the same time. Let's see. And did that work? I think it did. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so what you guys want to talk about? Let's see. So I didn't know he was a believer. That's great. Oh yeah, big time believer. Big time believer. Your thoughts on the TSA workers not being paid? I dropped my daughter off at the airport this morning, and we had to go through some things. It wasn't too bad because of how early it was, but it's ridiculous. This is, playing politics. It really is pretty ridiculous. And the idea here is the Democrats don't want illegal immigrants picked up. And because, let's be honest, because that's votes for them. And so they're doing everything they can to stop the president from removing illegal immigrants from the country. And so they're using the TSA workers and other DHS workers' pay as leverage against him. And it's just messed up. It's just messed up. I mean, find another way, right? These are real people, real lives, and it's all shady as it is. The whole legal immigrant thing. Of course, there's the people part of it. We could have that conversation, but the political part of it is is twisted. I mean, you're really breaking the law so you can have people vote illegally so you can be elected. That's what's literally what this is. And so, um, politics are politics, but real people are getting hurt, real people are being impacted, and you would hope that they would kind of figure that out pretty quickly. In fact, that's what the whole Save Act fight is all about. Same thing. No one, I think it's something like 80% of blacks believe that we should have voter ID when we vote. Something like 80% of the country believes that, but Democrats are fighting it tooth and nail. Was it, I'm trying to say? I need to eat because they want illegal votes. That's brutal. It's just wrong. I don't care what your politics are. So yeah, Hey, Shaheen, how are you doing? Excited to bring my next to church. And awesome, go for it. Yes, I was planning to pick up the phone and call my next. I was thinking today or tomorrow at the latest. And that's the next person God has placed in your heart to experience Jesus through you. And God wants you to reach. And so, this Easter, we're encouraging the whole church to bring just that one person, that next that God's put on your heart. And I encourage you, even if you're not a part of FX, that, there should be somebody in your life that you are actively loving, praying for, and then inviting to church or inviting to follow Jesus. And so, think about that, jump on that so that God can use you. Because as Jesus said in John 4, the harvest is ready. They're ripe. They're not. The issue isn't that people don't want God. It's that often God's people aren't doing what it takes to just go bring them in. So it's just something to focus on. Hey, Ashley, how are you doing? I see you wearing your Lions shirt with all the changes they're going through. It's basically going to be an almost brand new team. What do you think about it? Well, I don't know. In one sense, yeah, I can see why you would say that. But in the other sense, you still got the same core guys. And I think that's the issue. They got to pay all the core guys. And so because of that, they're having to find ways to get, other players around them. And I'm very interested to see what they do in the draft because that's how they built this before. And I think that's what they're thinking. That's how they're going to build this going forward. They probably have a pretty significant deficit at the edge position, but they signed one guy. I would imagine they're going to sign another one or two and then draft one or two. So that's the one position that makes me a little nervous, for lack of a better term, sports nervous, not real nerves. But, and then the safety thing is interesting. But, we'll see. I mean, it's pretty clear they need to draft a tackle. I would argue they need to draft a guard. I wasn't a fan of Mahogany. You got to draft a couple edges. And so, and the defense itself, you also are light on linebackers. The defense was a problem. It's been a problem all these years, even when they were good. So they got to do something. So I'll be curious to see what they do in this draft. I know they don't draft by position; they draft for best available. But and I actually still agree with that. But I just know they can't do what they did last year, going into the season with a clear hole at the center position, and expect to do well. And they really did the same thing at the edge position too. They got a little bit of a break with Muhammad in one sense, but I hope that they, don't go into the season with some holes. That's the thought. A lot of talk about Crosby. Do you think that'll happen? No, I don't. I don't think they have enough money to bring him over. I don't. And then the Raiders are asking for way too much. And so, I think they got 2 first-round picks for him on this last trade that didn't go through. We need our first round pick. We have to get a tackle. So probably a right one because you just move Sewell over, but they need it. So we'll see. Sorry, Instagram. I'm gonna try to change something else here really quickly. See if this makes it better. All right. What else you guys want to talk about? Hey, Anita, in Arizona, 105 today. Woof. Heading to Detroit. Ooh, why? 105 is hot, but in Phoenix, 105 isn't like 105 is here. It's not too bad. But here, ain't too great. Hope you brought a coat, Anita, but I'm glad you're coming. Love to have you come through FX Church. Always stand at the back. Love to greet you. But if not, it's fine. Definitely understand. All right, what else you guys want to talk about today? I jumped on Facebook instead of TikTok today. Um, Actually, I have StreamYard and I really need to set that up. I've just been so busy that I haven't had a chance to play around with it. So hopefully this upcoming week I can, and then I can just do all four, and that's the hope. But misconnecting with our Facebook fam. So I'll look forward to seeing you. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but the dog's in trouble. So now she just said that you're in trouble. Anyway, all right, what y'all want to talk about? You got real quiet on me. Happy spring. Yeah, I guess today is the first day of spring. It's also my sister's birthday. So Michelle Ferguson, her birthday. I just called her, told her she didn't want me to sing it to her, and she reminded me that I actually sang to her last year. But it's her birthday, so for me, that's what March 20th always is. So go over to her page. If you're not following Michelle Ferguson, you need to follow her and Lee, and you need to support them. They're starting a 3-2 church in the Dallas area. Um, I don't know if they've announced. I think they're talking about this fall, and they're So if they've ever been a blessing to you, and I know they have, you see, check on the inside, see what God would tell you to give towards what they're doing, because launching a church is no joke, as you know, I know. Um, and so they're in the process now of raising money and having interest meetings and all that kind of stuff. So if you can go over to their social media, Michelle Ferguson or Lee Ferguson, or you can go to the 32church.com, I believe. And and as God leads you, man, whatever you can give towards what they're doing, be a blessing, help them get going, because the God's got a great vision in their heart and that area that they're going to. It's going to be There'll be a great blessing to it. So, speaking of birthdays, don't you have a milestone birthday this year? How are you celebrating? I do have a milestone birthday this year, and I guess we're kind of thinking about a party of some sort. So I'm trying to stay out of it. That's not really happening, but it's all right. But yeah, that is the plan, is to celebrate my 50th this year, which is crazy. It doesn't even make sense to me. But I do have a 23-year-old, will be 23 in a month, and a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. So kind of makes sense. Time just keeps flying. The Pastor Michelle and Pastor Lee is off the chain, the dynamic duo. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're awesome. And they've helped so many people, and yet they're just getting started. I mean, I can't imagine what the next 10 years holds for them. So, yeah. Good afternoon, Gregory. What else you guys thinking about? I can get a Chuck E. Cheese mascot to come to your party if you like. I have all the connections. Talk about bringing back some memories. Chuck E. Cheese. Oh my goodness, that would be funny. I don't know about that. You might have to talk to my wife about that. Pastor Michelle ministered a great message here in Dallas last week. Oh, great, great. That's right, Brittany, here in Dallas, in the Arlington area. Of course, Bishop is doing a ministry there every Thursday night, I think. And then Michelle and Lee are launching about an hour north of that in Allen, Texas. So, of course, Michelle and Lee are helping him at the moment. So I'm glad you got a chance to hear her. Yeah, if you've never listened to my sister, you need to go to her social media and just check out some of the clips. I've told her for years she really should be doing stadiums. She's every bit as good as any name you can come up with, whether it's Sarah Jakes or it's, you know, Joyce Meyer or any of them folks. She's every bit as good as them, has been for a while. And God's been opening doors for her for a while, but there's more to come. And so go check out her page. I'm pushing Michelle Ferguson today. since it's her birthday. And Lee Ferguson and the 2Church. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We got it quiet today, so might just jump off. Sometimes we have quiet days. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, she is. She's phenomenal. And her story's phenomenal. What God's done in her life. Um, of course, I would have front row seats. So I remember the health issues, and I remember her believing God to meet a husband, and I remember believing God to have a child, and I remember believing God to do Michelle Ferguson Ministries, and I remember being willing, believing God to be able to move down to Dallas, and um, all the things that she has overcome. I had a front row seat to it, and it's one reason why you can't really tell people that follow God truly that God doesn't exist. He's not real. He's in your mind, imagination, all these other things, Sky Daddy, and all the stuff that these little atheists come up with. It's too late, bro. I've had way too many supernatural experiences, and I talk to God every day. I saw one great post, and somebody said, "What do you mean God's not real?" I talked to him this morning, and it's true. That's Christianity is a personal relationship with God, and so once you choose to follow Him, you really have a relationship with God. He talks to you, leads you, blesses you, does miracles for you, and it's just your life. And so, it's saying he's not real is like saying that, my kids aren't real. Yeah, they are. They're a part of my life, in my pockets, right? So, um, so yeah, if you don't follow him, man, I want to tell you, just try God. Just give it a shot. Just go for it, and you'll see he'll make himself very, very known to you. How do you, as a pastor, prepare for Holy Week services? I'm sure it's a huge undertaking. Honestly, for me, it's not that different than normal. Now, from a staff standpoint, and church activity standpoint, it's more. We have the kids event every year. This year, we're doing something a little different, so we're doing it the weekend before. We're doing a praise party instead of our helicopter um, egg drop, and we have our Good Friday play, but I'm not overly involved in either one of those. I have Easter, and the Easter message is actually shorter than normal. So, in that respect, it's not that much different for me. We're working to get as many guests there as possible, win as many people to Jesus as possible, and so we mobilize the church, and we use things like we use Hello Church. Some people use church candy. Some people use other organizations, but they've helped us. So they help us get guests and things like that. That's the kind of stuff we focus on. But for me, it's not nearly as involved as you would think it would be. So, hey, Tiffany in Birmingham. Hey, more travel, substitute teaching right now. Well, hello. Okay, well, you got the blessing, prosper in all that you do. So I was just saying that as way too late for what I don't even I missed that. Now I'll see why I shouldn't have did this with Instagram. Give me a second here. Let's pull it up so I can see. Okay. Um, how do you feel about singles ministries? Well, we have one. They have their event tonight. Tonight, March Madness event for our singles at FX Church. Those who are 30 and over, and then our singles that are underneath 30 are called Exalt. And they have an event next Friday. They do something almost every month. We're trying to build our singles ministry at FX. And of course, we have a single small group. That's the main way we do ministry. And now we're doing an event, but we're trying to build it. So, we're kind of the front of that, beginning of that. So, all right. Well, it's good hanging out with you guys. A little quiet today. That's cool. If you're in the D, come through 8:30, 10:15, and 12. And of course, you can catch us up online. Oh, I got you, Ray. Says it's way too late because I know God exists. Yep, I've experienced too much. I'm with you. Got to catch up online with us as well on myfaithdays.com, our YouTube channel. And if you want to do that, don't forget Match Made in Heaven's available. I'm still planning to read this to you guys. I keep forgetting, somebody said I should read the first chapter. on here. Maybe I'll do that next week. Maybe y'all can remind me to do that and give you kind of a heads up on how this starts. And so that's cool. I got a few things coming in now. So let's see. I want to talk about how I ordered Bishop Butler a coffee mug from a Christian online store. They misspelled the last name, Butter, instead of Butler, and refused to exchange or refund it $65. Shaking my head. Woo, that's terrible. Wow. Well, it's the thought that counts, right? Did you see the new Spider-Man trailer? I did. Looks good. The Dune trailer looks good. I'm really curious about Dune because I didn't read the book, so I'm trying to seeing what they're gonna do. You said Ham's descendants settled Africa. The Bible said Ham's descendants settled Africa, right? I found the whole Black Hebrew thing online to be kind of funny. I've been attacked for weeks by them and my Bible knowledge, and Jesus was actually Black, and the Israelites are actually Black, and we came over the tribe of Judah, who came over in the slave trade, and I'm just like, this stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, open any history books outside of their corrupted stuff. Nobody agrees with the viewpoints of the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's just not historically accurate. It's not biblically accurate. Oh, Galatians 3 is not saying this, that, and the other. They've ignored the new covenant entirely. It doesn't even matter if you're a Hebrew or not, Israelite or not. In Christ Jesus, you are a part of the family of God, whatever your background. They ignore that. So I debated about responding to this, but I decided not to. It's just some people, you just preach the gospel and you let God deal with their hearts, and maybe in some cases their minds. So we love them. Just pray that God opens the eyes of their hearts, and we keep it moving and reaching people far from God. So that's my thoughts about that. But all right. Okay. Well, I think that might be it for the day. We'll see you guys this weekend if you're in the D or if you're joining us online. Everybody else, I see you online as well. If you see something that's really, you see a post that you really like it, share it. That's just helping us reach more people. That's the point, to get to 1 million strong online. And then from there, we can reach even more people. So help us do that. We'll catch up with you soon and know that God has a future for you.